welcome to some more ideas using craft kit number 7. I'll grab my craft kit so you can the dies. These are fab dies for making frames and boxes and little organisation tabs, but I thought I would do a little card which is like an envelope card, and I'm only actually using 2 dies from the set. So I'm using this pattern square and also this really pretty circle die. Okay, so I need those. You're also going to need several sheets of white or cream A4 cardstock, the green card from the kit along with the pink card from the kit, and then you're also going to need the pens which come. Obviously, if you haven't got if you wanted to do different colourways, you can use your own pens. I've just got little circles that I've stuck there so that I can see at a glance without having to check the lids. So I've got my pens. I've also got the glitter marker, which is a beautiful colour and matches perfectly, so I'm using that. I've also added in a couple of other of the glitter markers, which if you haven't got these, you could substitute something similar. And then you're going to need the gorgeous stamp, which comes with the kit, and you're going to need some white embossing powder and one of the gorgeous water brushes, which I use tons to do some watercolouring with. So let's get started and I'll show you what the project looks like. So it's just a slide off band, and then inside you've got some lovely floral detail, and you can either put your message on the inside flaps, or you can put it on the back, or you could put a little flap on top, and so you could have your message underneath. So that's what we're going to make. What you're going to need first of all is to cut out a piece of cardstock. So I would need, for this, I'd need the piece for my stamping, 2 more pieces for the flaps, and then you're going to want a green piece for the back as well. So to save time, I've done most of the colouring already. I'm going to finish it off to show you. If you want some ideas on how to do colouring, stamping, embossing, have a little look on some of the Tonic videos. If you really get stuck, leave me a message in the comments and I can show you where to go to get some ideas to do this with. But all I've done is I've stamped using the stamp. Okay, so I've stamped it on using the Clear Mark ink pad from Nuvo. Any clear embossing ink is fine, and then I've added my white embossing powder, and then I've heated to set, and then I've just started to colour. If I bring it up, you can probably see I've tried to stick with most of the colours that you've got in the kit, just so that you can see that you don't actually need to add very much to them. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my 3 colours. You've got a light, a mid and a dark, and I'm going to start with the darkest colour. It's easiest this way if you start with the dark, because you don't want to go over and over the same area, otherwise you tend to find, depending on the cardstock that you use, you'll end up bleeding through. So if we put the dark and then just drag the colour down with the 3 different colours, I'll show you, it's really, really easy. So let me just take the tops off, I don't want that end. Let's take the 3 tops. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start adding a little bit of colour to the top, and then get the next one, pull it down, and the lightest one, take it down like that. I tend to keep 2 of the colours in one of my hands so that I know which one I'm picking up, and then just swap them and then leave the lightest one to the left. You can see, so what you're doing, you're just colouring and you're going back slightly on the colour that you've just produced, you've just put on. So it means that it helps blend. You can use a blender. I tend to find that using these alone is great. The blender has other uses, but so I've just created that. I know it's hard to see, apologies, the light outside is just constantly changing today. Okay, so we've got that. So what I'm going to do now, I've done my little bit of alcohol marker colouring. Now I'm going to use the glitter markers. So I'll get my glitter markers. And all I've done is I've just scribbled them. Let me show you there. Scribbled them onto an acrylic block. And that will dry, and you can keep it like that, and you can just keep reactivating with water. So I'm going to use this for the leaves, the big leaves. So I'm just going to get my watercolour pen. Going to add a little bit of water, Then I'm just going to add some of this at the corner and then just pull the colour towards the end. If you haven't got quite enough, go back and add more, but it's always best that you add less because it's hard to get off once you've taken the colour onto the actual cardstock. Okay, so we've put that on. So that's how we would go around doing all of it. And then I'm just going to use the yellow to colour the inside of my flower. So just pick up a little bit of yellow, colour the inside like that. So you can see it's really messy, really quick, doesn't require much in the way of skill. You're just putting colour on. So there, I got my piece finished. So you can colour whatever colours you like. You could do it in darker embossing powder, but I quite like the softness of the white. So I've got that done. Okay, next up is I want to produce these little corner bits. Okay, so if you can see here, this light driving me nuts. Okay, so I've just put some little dashed lines, and those are where you're going to be doing your scoring. So it's easier for me to show you with the lines rather than from a distance. So I'm going to get my scoring tool and my folder. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going from this little bit here, push it up so you can see, this section here to this here. So just line those little sections up on any given line, and I'm just going to do that. Okay, turn it round. So you're going to get two of these little flaps from one of the square die cut pieces. Try and get it so it's even. There we go. So we're just scoring from one little edge to the other. And then all I need to do is cut them off. Obviously, I'm going to do it quickly. If you had time, you might want to just put them in your trimmer. Doesn't really matter how I'm going to do this because the bits on the back are actually hidden. So that hides all your workings. And all I'm going to do then, fold them down, give them a score, and then you're just going to trim them off. So you can see that edge is going down straight. So it means that when I fold them down, I'm not going to see them protruding out of the edge. So let's put it together. And one of the other reasons for adding a piece on the back is obviously the alcohol inks tend to bleed through a little bit. So that's why it's really good if we've got another layer on the back, which will hide it all. So all I need to do now is just stick the four corners. Just trim that one off as well. Now, because this is an uneven area, and you obviously could put glue there, but if you're not careful, you end up with glue sticking out. So I found the easiest way of doing things with my glue, wherever it is. Okay, I'm just gonna pop off and get my glue and come back. Just bear with me. Okay, got the glue. Right, so I found the easiest way of doing it was just to put glue along the edges like that, so that when I come to put my piece into position like that, I'm not going to get any of the glue along these edges here. So just put it on, try and center it as well as you can, because obviously if you don't center it, then when you put them all together, they won't be as neat. So again, just going around. These are really nice, quick and simple ideas, just of using different way of your dies. There we are. Trying to do this quickly because I know it's not very interesting for you. So we're just going to go all the way around. Obviously just wait for the glue to dry. Don't do this speed crafting like me, because otherwise you'll end up with your card coming apart. Pop those on like that. Okay, so that's that layer. And it's worth each time you're doing it, just bending it down and checking that they're not overlapping. And then onto the final layer. Pop it on. Okay, so we've got all of our 4 layers on. And it's quite nice because of the fluted edges that you've got some of the design peeking through as well. Okay, so I've got that like that. And then I'm going to add the back layer, and it just gives the whole thing stability as well as hides all the messy edges. Pop that on, and then all I did was I tried to turn it over so that I could see where my edges were, so it meant that I was getting it central to the front bit. Okay, so that's the main bit, that's sorted, and all we need to do now is create the band. So I just got another piece of cardstock, added some of the pink cardstock that comes with the kit, and then I just got my piece. Okay, it would help if I'd stuck it on correctly. And then you're just going to bend it over like that and stick it down at the back. I've just got some of the Craft Perfect tape on here. There we go, nice and easy. Okay, so there's our band. Now, if you wanted to, I like things with lots of white space, so I've kept it like this. But if you wanted to do something and decorate it up even further, if you use one of the other die cuts in the kit and you cut out in a nice contrasting colour, that would look really pretty. You just cut over the top and you could have it on 2 or even all 4, and that would just give it an even more of an embellished look. So that's a further idea. And then all I did was I re-stamped the floral stamp that we got in the kit with the white embossing powder, coloured it in exactly how I'd coloured it before using the pens and the glitter markers, and then all you need to do is just stick it in the middle. And it's a really, really nice, easy way of producing a card that's a little bit different to the usual. And obviously, if you want to put it through the post and you want to save the postage, just put all these flat. Don't bother adding these up on foam pads. So there is my idea for using kit number 7. You'll have tons of fun with this. It's a really beautiful kit, and I look forward to seeing what else you create with it. Do post them on the Tonic Facebook page so we can all have a look and admire what you've created. Sorry about the light in the video, it's one of those days, and I'll see you soon. Take care, bye.